Qasim, whatever your name is, or Sarah, Asma. My dear brothers and sisters, it is our responsibility to build that masjid. We are not exempt. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, كلكم راع, كلكم راع, every one of you is responsible, and you are going to be questioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala about that responsibility. We came to this land as a student, and the footprint for us, my dear brothers and sisters, is to establish that institution. And the reward is plenty. The reward is plenty. My dear brothers and sisters, if you see, for example, the biggest masjid in Pittsburgh, ICP. The one who was the motive, he was a student. Now, the one who was a motive was the engine in getting that masjid to be bought. And he was working harder and harder. He is not living here anymore. But his legacy is there. That masjid is there. How many people comes and goes? How many people come and go? How many people come and pray? How many people? How many fundraising that is being conducted there? How many poor people have been fed from that masjid? How many organizations that get supported from that masjid? How many khutbah that conducted in that masjid? My dear brothers and sisters, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us in al-hadith, من سن في الإسلام سنة حسنة فله أجرها وأجر من عمل بها إلى يوم القيامة. Whoever establishes a sunnah hasana, it is a masjid. You help in establishing a masjid. He has a reward for that masjid, for that hasana, and a reward of all the people who are going to come, for example, and pray in that masjid, fast in that masjid, break their fast in that masjid, until the day of judgment. Until the day of judgment. You build the masjid, it's going to stay there for many, many years. And it will be renovated again and again. And that $10, you go and you eat in a fancy restaurant, you spend $50, $100, $200. You go for a trip, for a vacation, and you spend a couple of thousand of dollars. You go and you buy a cloth and you spend $500 or $1,000. You buy shoes that much. You spend money left and right. But I will tell you this. Whatever you spend, let's say that you went and you spent a lot of money to buy the most delicious food the most delicious food on the face of the planet. And you sleep in the best hotel that never existed on the face of the planet for one night or a month, or let's say even a year, which is highly unlikely. But let's imagine that. You live for a year. You spend $100,000, $1 million. What is left from that $1 million? What is left? Just a question. What is left? You may commit haram while you're spending that money left and right. And the sayyat, the sins, are actually accumulating day by day, and you are going to face them in the day of judgment. While imagine, it is painful to write a check with $10,000 for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because the result, you don't see it there. You don't see that enjoyment, like when you do it the first time. But the reward, that pain for one night today, you forget about it. 3 months, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you money and you forget about it. But the reward will be accumulating until you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us in al-hadith, he swear, he said, by Allah, by Allah, by Allah, ma naqasa malun min sadaqah. By Allah, by Allah, by Allah. Your wealth will not be decreased because of a charity that is giving for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a promise. It's a promise. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us in al-hadith, إِذَا مَاتَ ابْنُ آدَمْ إذا مات ابن آدم انقطع عمله إلا من ثلاث. If a son of Adam dies, all sources of his or her good deeds are stopped, except from three sources. صدقة جارية, a continuous charity, or knowledge that is beneficial, or a righteous son or daughter that they pray for them. So this sadaqah, inshallah, tonight, you make it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is a continuous charity indeed. Also, knowledge that is beneficial. You are actually supporting an institution that will be the main source of knowledge for many Muslim generation for many years to come, inshallah. Third, you are going to establish an environment for your kids in which your kids are going to learn about Islam, and inshallah they will be righteous and they will pray for you in the day of judgment. With that being said, my dear brothers and sisters, I would like to start the fundraising today.